Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Liz Petrelli. I'm your annuity marketer here at Underwriters Marketing. Here at Underwriters Marketing Service, we are your back office support for life, long-term care, fixed, and FIA business. We have been in the business for, actually, we're going on 38 years this year, and are constantly striving to provide you, our agents and reps, with education, support for your business, and marketing tools to help you continue to grow and develop. Our speakers today are one of our favorite partners, Allianz Life, and we're going to have two speakers today. One of them is Becca Woodstra. A lot of you probably have met her, and she has been with Allianz for over 6 years. She is our senior external wholesaler, working with UMS and many other people throughout the area. And our second speaker, actually, I think Becca will introduce him, but his name is Alex Kohler, and we'll hear from him after Becca talks to us about the products. And Alex will come in and go over some of the tools with Allianz. So with that, Becca, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thanks, Liz. Appreciate the warm introduction. Happy to be here with everybody today. Greetings from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I know a lot of you on the call know I'm based out of Minnesota, downtown Minneapolis, and it is, as of right now, my watch is saying it's -0 degrees. Didn't really know zero could be negative or positive, but it is -0 out right now. So hopefully you are joining from a much warmer climate. We're going to spend about 30 minutes today with you all. I'm going to have about the front 15 minutes to go over a little bit of product benefits, diving into index lock, diving into increasing income. And then my partner, Alex, he's going to come on for the last 15 minutes, and he is going to focus on sales ideas and showing you guys tools and calculators that are available at your disposal. So Alex is kind of the more fun part today. Lucky you, Alex. First and foremost, I just want to start off today with a little bit of success sharing. I know it sounds cheesy, but truly here at Allianz, we believe that your success is our success and vice versa. Underwriters Marketing Services, you guys had a record year with us last year, quite a lot more than you did in 2020, a little under $11 million. And with that, right, that promotes us up the ladder as well. Allianz Life in 2021 did over $6.75 billion in FIAs. I'll say that again, $6.75 billion. And that was after a down year. During the pandemic, right, when it hit us the hardest in 2020, Allianz did about $4.77 billion. So to have a $2 billion increase in 1 year is pretty pivotal. And obviously that is due to you and your clients. We appreciate your business so very much, and we know that when you choose to put Allianz in front of your clients as a retirement solution, just know that we are very, very thankful for that consideration. Now, to no surprise, a lot of our success is due to the ABC annuity, the Allianz Benefit Control Annuity. I know a lot of you on the call are familiar with this product, but for those that aren't, I'm just going to go through a couple of the most important nuts and bolts. And first and foremost is the acronym. ABC actually is meaningful. The A stands for anytime income. So unlike some of our other products in the past, having to wait sometimes 10 years before triggering income, you can trigger income immediately on this FIA. You also have even more access with the ability to start income on any month anniversary. So just a lot of flexibility as far as being able to schedule that income benefit to coordinate with maybe other income streams in your clients' lives. B stands for benefit control. So you actually get a choice between two different interest bonus options, and we'll get into that in a second. And then the C stands for cost of living. The Allianz Kingpin is increasing income. So of course, we've got that capability on this annuity. And you've got it in two different ways, actually. Normal increasing income, and then our very beloved income multiplier benefit. So real quickly here, you do get bonuses on this ABC annuity. Right now, our premium bonus is actually at 18%. Pretty significant from a premium bonus standpoint. Your client puts $100,000 in, immediately their income value jumps to $118,000. When Alex shows a couple of our tools, you'll really be able to see the power of that premium bonus in addition to our interest bonus. So every time your contract earns an index credit, anytime we see a positive return, your income value is going to go up at a more exponential amount. Just like our popular 222 in the past, this income value is going to be the value that income is based off of. It is not available as a lump sum to the policyholder, but it is available as a death benefit to beneficiaries. And there's a cap that we'll talk about in a second as well. Now, choices, right? I talked about benefit control. You do actually get the choice between a balanced or an accelerated approach. Now, if your clients are using this for lifetime income, which 90% of them will be, you're going to choose the accelerated interest bonus approach. Because as you can see, when your contract earns an index credit, 250% will be multiplied to that income value, 250%. On the flip side, your cash value will only earn 50% of that index credit. But if your client's looking for cash accumulation, I will point you in a different direction, right? I will be transparent and honest that this is probably not the product for them, or we can maybe look at a balanced approach depending on their situation. But for the most part, you're going to want to choose accelerated with our ABC annuity. And we'll look at a mathematical example here in a second. Couple quick notes, you do have to choose one or the other between balanced or accelerated. We can never mess with those bonuses after issue. Those are guaranteed on the life of the contract, but you can make changes on annual anniversary if you need to. You can start balanced and then switch to accelerated. You can start accelerated and switch to balanced. So here's an example, really looking at the power of that 250% multiplier. Now this is looking at a balanced approach, right? So we're not looking at the accelerated yet, but let's take a look at if they chose balanced, right? Year goes by, your indexing methods yield a 4% return. With the balanced approach, your cash value would go up 4, your income value would go up 6 because we have a 150% multiplier. Here are the values after 1 year. Pretty significant even with a balanced interest bonus. But on the other hand, let's say your client chooses the accelerated interest bonus approach. Same index credit of 4%, but we've got different interest factors, right? 50% on the cash value, but 250% on the income value. A 4% index return turns into a 10% credit on your income value. Already getting double digits on that protected income value and already starting at a higher beginning mark of $118,000 because of our interest or because of our premium bonus, excuse me. Now, just real quick before we get into index lock, what I'm most excited to talk about, here's just a quick glance at our allocation options. At Allianz, we love options, right? So you've got monthly sum caps, you've got annual caps, annual spreads, and then our most popular participation rate, both on a 1-year and a 2-year period. I will say that, with these participation rates being our most popular, the reason behind that is because of index lock, right? I'm sure you're all familiar with caps and spreads, but when it comes to participation rates, you've got unlimited upside potential, and you've always got the ability to see a positive credit if the index return is positive. No speed bumps we have to get over like with spread strategies. But when it comes to index lock, I do want to highlight truly the importance and the impact that this feature has on client contracts. At any point in time, your clients, if they are satisfied with that contract year-to-date return, they're able to actually lock that in and know that they're going to have a positive return on their annual statement when their anniversary comes due. We make this very user-friendly because you can track and do these index values online. You can see that year-to-date return at any point in time, but it allows that client to have an extra peace of mind that they have control over their contract, right? They've got the ability to lock in gains whenever they'd like to. Now, pausing here, something that I'm super excited to share is some index lock statistics, because we actually launched this back in 2019 and we've had quite a lot of people lock in. In the year of 2021, we had over $33 million of gains locked in. I'll say that again. In 2021, with the index lock feature, over $33 million of gains were locked in. And that's actually up from $3.9 million in 2020. those gains, that $33 million, those can never be taken off the table, right? Those were gains that clients have locked in. They are on those contracts for the lifetime of those policies. Now, the average lock from a 1-year perspective was 4.5%, and the 2-year lock was 7.9%. I did some digging, I did some research, and the average lock actually for underwriters and marketing services clients is also at 7.67%. And that's an average lock between 1 and 2-year participation rate. So UMS clients have locked in an average of 7.67%. You should be seeing actually emails that come twice a month showing you your index lock reports. Those are going to show you returns that are currently at 4% and 8% from a 1 and a 2-year perspective. So be on the lookout for those, because we do know that there is a little bit of a manual kind of effort needed with doing index lock. But in addition to that, we also launched auto lock. So when you're going on to these policy details, you should be seeing 2 options. 1, to set targets, or 2, to actually choose a manual index lock. Now, I'll back up for a second here. Auto lock gives you the capability to set both upper and lower targets on contracts that have the ability to do an index lock. So if you look at this graph or this picture on the right-hand side of your screen here, this is looking at a 3.9% year-to-date return that we're looking on putting an auto lock on. Now, what I'll say is that the upper targets are rarely used. And that's because why limit the upside potential of these contracts, right? What we're seeing far more used is lower targets, right? Effectively putting a lower target in is like a stop loss mechanism, right? If you see a 3.9% annual return, and let's say their anniversary is in a couple of months or, around the corner, throw in a lower target, protect that gain. Because what will happen is if the index starts to decline and it hits that lower target that you set, Allianz will actually lock it for you. It takes that responsibility off your shoulders, off your client's shoulders, and puts that responsibility back on Allianz. So auto lock really gives you the chance to kind of set these targets, set parameters, kind of take that peace of mind, or give that client the peace of mind that Allianz will watch those contracts for them. One thing I'll mention again about auto lock is that when you set a target, those are not locked in. If you continue to see that index interest rate return climb, let's say next week we check this contract and it's at 4.5%, you can continuously push up that lower target, chase that current gain, and to make sure that we don't see that index or that index credit decline if we're coming closer to that contract anniversary. So index lock has been a game changer for Allianz. We've noticed that client, satisfaction is a lot higher with auto lock and index lock. So if you've got any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to either Alex or I, or Donna or Liz. They're very, very aware of index lock and will answer those questions, because this is definitely something you want to be aware of. But like I mentioned, you will be getting index lock reports from us on an annual basis, two times out of the month, but don't be hesitant to ask questions at all. You can also run your own index lock report as well. That gives you the ability to kind of take a glance at your contracts on your own time whenever you want. It's just available on the Allianz website. Now, last but not least, the Allianz juggernaut, right? Increasing income. I wanted to highlight an example of how this actually works, because I feel like sometimes people are not sure how it mechanically works. The easiest way to explain it is last year's payment times this year's credit becomes your client's new payment. So we just take a look at this example. Client with the ABC annuity turns on income beginning of year 6, right? Their initial income payment is $10,000. Now, keep in mind with the ABC, I know most of you know this, but when you trigger lifetime income, the contract will automatically revert to a balanced interest bonus approach. So your increases are not going to be by 250%, right? But they will be by 150%. So in the first year, or the first example, a year goes by, right? And your crediting methods, let's say, yield a 3% return, or maybe you lock in a 3% return. That gets catapulted by 150%, effectively turning into a 4.5% increase. We take last year's payment of $10,000, take 4.5% of that, which is $450. We tack that back on. That's your new income payment. Your client's gone from $10,000 to $10,450. Another year goes by, year 7, maybe we have a down year, a flat year, but there's no positive indexed credits, right? Client receives the same payment as last year. They'll never receive anything lower than that previous year's amount because all increases get locked in. Fast forward to the next couple of years, right? We see another couple of good years, a 5% indexing return multiplies into a 7.5% income increase. $10,450 jumps up to $11,234, and so on and so forth. So once again, last year's income times this year's this year's index credit at a 150% multiplier turns into your new income payment. All increases get locked in. You'll never receive anything lower than your previous income payment. Now, what I also like to share, because it's pretty positive news, is that at some point in time, right, with clients living longer, longevity being a number one concern in retirement, at some point in time, because of their income payment, because of increasing income, they're going to exhaust their contract values, right? Cash value and income value are going to hit zero, right? They're effectively in Allianz's pockets, right? They've kind of won the game there. We continue with increasing income the exact same way. It does not matter that they have no contract values left. We continue to track index performance. It continues to get a 150% multiplier, and we continue to pay guaranteed income at an increasing amount when applicable until that client passes away or until the other spouse passes away if joint income has been triggered. Now, last but not least, because I'd be remiss if we didn't share this, we have an income multiplier benefit, affectionately known as the doubler, built into our ABC at no additional cost, right? 95 basis points all in for the contract, but this does not have an additional cost. If a client satisfies eligibility, so confinement outside the home, or not able to perform a couple activities of daily living, 2 out of 6, Allianz will literally double their income payment. Even when it's doubled, it's still eligible for increases. If they've got joint income kicked on, this covers both spouses, no matter whose money funded the contract. And at some point in time, when they exhaust their values, which will be sooner because they're taking double the amount out, we will continue with income going forward. It will continue to increase, and it will start at what it would double at the end, cut in half. Just for sake of time, I know we probably will get questions on this, but just for sake of time, I do want to kick it over to Alex to share some of our sales tools and sales calculators, because I truly believe that these are going to be, tools that you guys can use in your practice with your clients. So Liz, if you want to kick it over to my internal partner, Alex, he'll share his screen.
Alex, great. Alex is our internal rep with Allianz, and he has also been with the company for a number of years, and he handles our division, and he is going to talk to you about the nuances of the tools of Allianz's ABC. So Alex, take it away.
Thank you, Liz.
Alex, one thing before you go. If anyone has any questions, please go ahead and type them in, and we'll get to them at the end.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Becca, for that product review. I would be remiss to say that, yes, I do have the most fun portion of this presentation today, not only because I get to show you some agnostic and unique tools that are free for you guys to use through your contract with Allianz, but also we're talking about moving a sale forward, right? We're talking business, and we have our clients at mind during this part. So on the screen, you see our Allianz homepage. This is what it would look like if you logged in. You can see right now it's showing my name, but when you log into Allianz website, you have a multitude of resources available to you. But what we'll be concerned with today is our tools and calculators. We like to make things simple and easy to find. So on the home page, you'll find a gray tile that's tools and calculators. You'll be able to click that button and it's going to populate. Oh, that logged me out. One moment. It's going to populate a multitude of our tools. And you'll see them illustrated by all these tiles. What tool I'm going to start with first, and is our most recent tool we launched, is our Allianz Benefit Control Calculator. I want you to think about this tool when you're doing income planning, or you may be meeting with a client for the first time and you're doing a fact finder with them. And luckily for you all on the call, I've recently had two great conversations this week with advisors on two client scenarios that are perfect to demonstrate the power of this tool. First of them being, I was talking with one of my advisors in Kansas, and he called me up. He said, Alex, I'm meeting with a client soon. It's a younger client. He's 55 years old, and he has some cash set aside in his bank account. And he's curious to know how much he could get if you were to reposition those assets to an FIA and potentially see the income benefit that our ABC could provide. And I said, great, I'll run you an illustration. And the advisor came back and says, no, I don't have too much time. He's going to be here in 3 minutes. I just need some tool or quick numbers to show him and start the conversation. So I said, great, we'll utilize this ABC calculator. So for this client scenario, he was 55 years old, and he wanted to see what he could get as an income distribution when he's 65. So we plugged those details into the calculator. The client wanted to look what a single payment would be. And like Becca was mentioning, we're looking for an income distribution. So 9 times out of 10, we're going to want to take advantage of that 250% credit and use our accelerated option to increase our protected income value so our distribution is the greatest value we could see. So this is where you begin to implement your numbers. So I asked the advisor, well, how much does this client of yours have set aside? What is he looking to reposition into an FIA? And he said he has about $150,000 sitting in his bank account. So we go ahead and we plug that initial premium payment in, expecting that he would reposition those assets. And then what we get to do is control the interest earned. So if you think about when you receive an illustration, we have all these different allocations and we do all these historical back testing, and it throws a bunch of percentages at you. Well, if you want to show the power of an annuity and set the expectation that we expect this to earn around 3 to 4% over the lifetime of the contract, that's where you can control this. So what I did with this advisor is I said, let's set the expectation that the client earns 3% on this contract. And just remember, for this tool's purposes, this is just the return of the indexes. This isn't taking into account the interest credit bonus. The calculator will do that for you. So after we enter our inputs, you can scroll up, and right here are the hypothetical results that we were able to come up with. So for this younger client, if you were to reposition those assets again to an FIA with us, in 10 years when he was 65, his initial lifetime withdrawal payment would be $14,592. Again, assuming that we earned a 3% return over those 10 years. So this is a quick and easy tool you can get when you're analyzing, again, a client that just wants to discuss his current situation or repositioning assets, or even when you're doing some income planning. But to take this tool a step forward, and which I find is very valuable, is when you're actually in that income planning process with your clients, you can decide if they have an income shortfall, how much in premium we'd need to fulfill that gap. I know I'm running up time, so I'm going to be quick here. But I had another advisor come to me. He had a client that was 60 years old. Client was retiring soon. They were going to delay their Social Security out till age 70. But they needed that income gap filled at age 65. And what they were looking to fulfill was about $20,000. So the advisor called me and said, Alex, how much premium would I need in your product in order to help my client bridge this gap before they begin their Social Security payments at age 70? So if we enter in the information, again, the client was 60, we needed the income at 65, single payment, accelerated option. But this time we're looking to see what premium amount we needed. So we would select initial premium here. And in this section where we want the withdrawal payment, we would put the income shortfall gap of 20,000. And again, I kept it at a 3% return. After we enter those inputs, we can scroll up and you can see that this calculator is able to calculate the premium needed for this client in order to fulfill their income shortfall gap of 20,000. Luckily for this client, they did have sufficient assets to place with Allianz with the ABC for that 295,000 to satisfy that income shortfall. So this is our ABC annuity calculator. I know I'm coming up on time, so I want to throw it back to Liz and Donna. But if you have any more questions on this calculator or have a case you'd want to run by, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Becca, and we can certainly walk through this with you.
Thank you, Alex. That was pretty enlightening. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of agents taking advantage of that. I'm going to remind anybody, if you have any questions at all, just put them in, type it on the little thing on the right-hand side, and we'll try to get to those questions in a moment. One of the questions we did have was there any consumer videos that people could share without password protection? Is there something we can just use without having to have a password every time?
Yeah, I can take that one, Liz. Absolutely. Alex, since you're sharing your screen, do you just want to pull up the public website for us? We do have consumer-friendly videos available on the public website. If you take the video from the public website landing page, it will not require you to actually log in or use a password to get there. Oh, this is I think, go to allianzlife.com. And then if it keeps you logged in, you can click your name up top, click where it says Alex, and do the public. There we go. And then up top where it says get answers, or what we offer. Do what we offer, sorry. I'm navigating this poorly. We've got videos on the what we offer page. And if Alex navigates back up to the very top bar and goes to what we offer, and then fixed index annuities or annuities, fixed index annuities, Allianz benefit control. If you scroll down, we actually do have an ABC consumer approved video, about 4 minutes long. You can send this very link at the very top of the page. Where he was first looking in kind of the non-product, the agnostic material. We also have a lot of material on like sequence of returns risk, why consider increasing income, why consider an FIA. So we can include links to those after the fact as well as.
That is pretty cool. Hopefully all of our agents that are listening right now will take advantage of some of that. Do we have any other questions? Let me double check. Okay. All right. I want to remind everybody that, again, if you have any questions, certainly reach out to myself or Donna or the team at Allianz. Thank you, everyone, for your time today. We do appreciate you spending it with us. Rebecca and Alex, thank you so much, and we'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate our partnership. And just to reiterate, Alex and I work on a team together. We support underwriters, marketing advisors. We also have two other important partners, Zach and Matt. Just think of us as like an extension of Donna and Liz, kind of like your Allianz subject matter experts. So all working together to make sure that, doing business with Allianz is enjoyable, efficient, and smooth. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Becca. We'll talk.